Welcome back to part 4 of Next Level You. So excited. Today is flow and self-acceptance. And for a lot of people, we don't really cover self-acceptance. If you think of any manifestation programs, I've never really had anybody cover self-acceptance. And that's such a big vibration. But the guides are reminding me we're going to start with flow first. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. All right. So we're going to talk today about flow and self-acceptance, and we're going to begin with flow. So in summary, over the past 3 weeks, we decided we knew who we are. We know what our power is. We know how to look at and perceive Fred, if you will, and how to even clear Fred. And we've learned how to step into our next level energy and start creating the things that we want to do. So the question then begets, how do we stay in that flow zone? How do we keep in that, our energy in the flow after doing all these work? Because after module 3, you probably would have noticed a lot of creepy crawlers coming up in your fields like Fred's, right? A lot of these showing up, right? Because we're giving attention to these thoughts. We're putting our energy on these thoughts. And you probably shifted a crap ton of stuff this week, right? Practicing that command and whatnot and so forth. And so that, for this purpose, was a great example of really practicing and getting used to the idea of, ooh, look, I have control over my thoughts. I can find them, I can seek them, I know where they're coming from, and I have the power to clear and heal them, right? So you're going to give yourself a little pat on the back for that, right? Because that's awareness in and of itself. And this week, which seems very contradictory, but this week we're going to tell you, lay off the gas pedal on all the healing pieces, because we're going to move into a different vibration. Now, that doesn't mean, oh, time out, stop all the clearing, healing work. No, what it means is now we're going to have a little bit more discernment about what it is that we need to clear, what is it that we need to shift or heal, versus what is it that we need to actually move into acceptance of. Okay. And I seem to want to be talking about self-acceptance and avoiding the flow, which is really kind of the flow of where we want to go. So that being said, right, flow is the tracking point of energy of where you're being led to. Like, so for me, self-acceptance right now is where we want to go. And that's where the flow is, right? For me in this particular moment. So I'm going with that flow. That flow is also that alignment of you and your inner being, both of you seeing and perceiving from the same lens. Both of you seeing and perceiving from that next level you energy. The two of you are on board. So being in that high vibe, moving forward and feeling into the things that feel good or feel right for you. Things that feel easy or effortless, right? And when you hit, so when you're driving along, thank you. So they're like, when you're driving along in the car, you're in the flow, right? It's a smooth highway. We're blasting the radio and we're having a really good time. And then you hit a pothole, right? So you have two choices when you hit that pothole. You could pull over the car and decide to stop driving, or you can step on the gas and just go, oh, wow, that was interesting. And then we just keep going. And when you're in the flow, you don't stop at the potholes. You notice, you go, oh, I hit a pothole. Interesting. And then you keep driving your car. Keep being in that flow and not allowing your ego fears or your little Freds, right, to drive your car off the highway. Okay. So the question then begins, I don't know, it's a B word. What do we do when you find yourself on the side of the road, right? Because sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're like sitting in your car going, I'm not moving. What is going on? And you're like, oh, I am on the side of the road. Okay, so what do I do now? So the number one thing that I tell people all the time is when you have a thought that derails you, pulls you off on the side of the road, you always want to counteract with an opposite or opposing thought. So, for example, let's just say you get hit with, oh my gosh, I'm not good enough for this, right? And now you're on the side of the road going, what happened? Why am I on the side of the road? Why did the train stop moving? Right? The first thing you want to recognize is, ooh, I had that thought. That's a repetitive thought. But you step into your next level you energy, the knowing, the awareness that Fred is not real, right? And you keep your train moving forward, saying, oh, I had that thought. That thought is not real. I'm going to replace with, I am a super powerful creator of all that is. That energy and power lies within me. And I am more than good enough for anything and anyone. And get your car back on the road. That's one way. I'm going to give you a couple because you can play around with them. The second one is do the exercise we did in module 1, which is imagine yourself in your next level you house, or maybe you meet her on a beach or him, or maybe you're driving in your car, you visualize her in her fancy car, right? And you literally step into her energy and imagine, see, and perceive that all of those little Freds, right, are dropping out of your field as you embody that next level energy, and then you get back on the road that way. Okay, so the other piece is, what is flow, right? Flow is not necessarily always feeling high vibe joy all the time, right? Flow can also be the way in which you make choices, the way in which what directions you take, what things that you do. So it's a feeling in process of, I had a great example today. When it hits me again, I'll tell you it, but I can't seem to find it at the moment. It's feeling into your own inner being and seeing what choice, direction, clarity, things to do, or action actually feels good. Yes, and I'm trying to think of that exercise. I don't know I can't remember what was it for? I can't remember what it was. I was going to make a decision in doing something. I was going to do something. I'll give you maybe it'll hit as I'm talking about it. I was going to do something and I got the impression, the feeling like I didn't want to do it, right? There was some resistance there. And so I had to sit with it and I had to feel into, okay, thank you, what piece was going to feel right for me. And even though I had like some energies here, my guides and stuff being like, yeah, no, that's not a good idea. Maybe we shouldn't do that. I sat with it and I felt like they were saying, not so much. But what I did was I took that into consideration or under advisement and I tuned in and I went, okay, but how does that feel for me? How does that feel for me if I do take this action, right? Because part of me really wanted to do it and I was feeling this kind of resistant energy and I didn't really check to see who it was. I mean, it could have had just a straggler in there, but it was a resistance. But the lesson about it was to go back within and feel and see and sense what the energy is for you. So when I went back in, I actually decided to take that action. I cannot believe I don't remember what the situation was. It's probably something stupid. But I took the action and I did it and I was very excited. I'm like, no, I want to do it. Like I was really in touch with me and what I wanted, what my desires were. So I wanted to do it and I did it. And because I was listening to me and not any other external thought or energy, it actually worked out. It worked out better than I could have imagined. It's kind of like having that gut feeling, like I really want to do this. And even though some mysterious external force is saying maybe that's not a good idea, I said, well, thank you for that opinion and perspective, but I'm going to check in with me. And I'm like, how does that feel for me? And I'm like, no, it feels good. It feels good. It feels light. It feels airy. It feels fun. It feels effortless and easy. So I did it. I do have a history of not listening to ethereal people, just FYI. Okay. It's like a problem at times. But this time I checked in, and that was the whole piece of being in the flow, checking in with you, checking in with that inner being, and being like, okay, I feel your resistance, but I'm going to feel into this. And I really want to do this. So I'm going to do it. And it all worked out. Okay. Thank you. So the other caveat to that is sometimes what people will do will be like, I really want to do this. And they will hear another energy go, no, it's not the right time. Or no, you're not meant to do it. Okay. You have to understand that all of these energies mean well, but they are not here living in your body, making the choices for your life. Their jobs are not to live your life for you or even make decisions for you. They can offer you a different opinion, but the truth of the matter is, what is in alignment for you, what feels good, what you desire to do, what you want is the actual true answer. Does that make sense? Your alignment is what is true for you. It doesn't matter who gives you a different opinion, unless somebody comes in and says, look, if you do this decision, you're going to get hit by a car. Well, then by all means, maybe that's something you get concerned about and be like, maybe I'll change my mind on that. But everything is for your consideration. You make the decisions and the desires of what you want to do. You set the tone. Thank you. You push the car, is what they're saying. You push the car forward, and they're saying, and we'll move everything out of the way. Okay. But the motion of moving forward happens from you when you decide what it is that feels aligned for you. Okay. Okay, thank you. So the other piece they're saying is a lot of people do this with tarot cards. I used to do this all the time. Tarot card, you'll have a decision that you want to make. You'll read your cards and the cards don't look good, right? And then people will be like, I'm not going to do it. Or people will use a pendulum and the pendulum says, no, don't do it. And they'll say, no, I can't do it. My pendulum said so. Okay. Or they'll be like, well, I'm going to ask the universe for a sign as to whether or not I should do it. And then they see the sign and they don't do it, right? So just in those examples, that is a great way of explaining how you give your power away to your tools. You allow your tools to make the decisions for you. Your tools are simply pieces of guidance, considerations. We'll take that under considerations. They're simply considerations. The true answer relies in you and your alignment and in your flow. If you are feeling flowy and it feels easy, and then you get this decision you have to make, and it's a brick wall in your face and stops your energy and feels constricted and really bad, then maybe you don't make that decision. But if you get that decision to make and you're flowy and you're free and you hear that decision or that choice that you need to make and you go, yeah, okay, that feels good. That feels good. You make that decision and you go, despite the fact of what your pendulum tells you, your tarot cards tell you, or even your guides tell you. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so now we get to move into self-acceptance by setting that stage. So as you move through the rest of your week, we're really going to invite you to tune inward into how the flow feels, and then what puts you back in flow, and then what takes you out of flow. You're going to be observing, and I just heard practicing the flow. So during the week, you're going to get experiences and situations in which you're going to be total in the flow zone, and then things will come up and you'll get that opportunity to feel in, right? And anytime you go in, thank you, anytime you go in to check, to realign, to think, to feel, you're drawing in all of your power. You're drawing in all of your essence and your energy. So when you make those decisions from within, they are empowered decisions. So take a moment this week to notice where you get bumped off, what happened, how it felt, and whatnot. Okay. So now we're going to move into self-acceptance. And I want to share, I think I want to share the story first. And they're saying, no, we're not going to share the story first. Okay. But that actually does feel light to not share the story. So this is a good example of what we just talked about, right? So I think I want to share the story first, but it felt, no, not at the moment, but it felt light. It felt aligned. It felt still in flow. So I'm going to go with that. Okay. So we're all going to turn to page 5 of your workbook. And I'm going to see if I can get it on here. Here we go. Yep, come on. Come on, here we go. All righty. We're not going to do that because that then, there we go. No, oh, maybe we can. All right, does that work? There we go. There we go. That works better. Okay, here we go. Page 5 is your self-acceptance worksheet, which was there just a second ago. Oh, seriously. Okay. Okay. Ah, dear, dear, dear. Here we go. All right, page 5. Where'd it go? Okay. All right, so if you have your workbook ready, you can write directly in the workbook, or you can save it for later or write it in a journal, whichever you choose. It is entirely up to you. Take a moment right now, and this is all going to make sense to you at the end, so bear with me as we go through this process. Write down your current life or business goals. Okay, so for a lot of you who are in business, maybe it's 10K months, maybe it's 100K months, maybe it's $1 million at the end of the year. If it's a life goal, maybe it's finding a soulmate partner or a new job or career or, whatever. But what I want you to do with this goal is when you think about it, don't write down the first hit. I want you to stretch it beyond your imagination to the point where you think it's absolutely impossible to do. This isn't working. Okay. There we go. I'm back. Okay. Okay. So stretch it out until it feels just a little bit uncomfortable. All right. Now that you have your goal, part 2 is write down all of your ego beliefs that tell you why you can't have it. And we're going to give you some time to do that. Feel free to share your goals and your ego things in the chat box if you choose. So some things could be, I can't have it because I've never done it before. It seems ridiculous. I don't know where the clients are going to come from. I don't know how I'm going to find this guy. I don't know where the job's going to come from. All of it. All of your little mind boogies. When you do feel complete, just let me know in the chat box. You can share what you wrote or just say, I'm ready. So mine was, I'd have to play a bigger game and I'd have to put myself on a bigger stage, says the girl with visibility issues. But come up with at least 7. Okay, 5. At least 5. Okay, we got 1 ready. Do you want to share some of them? We can share. My biggest thing is I don't know how to get there. Good. It's too unstable. You can't live on that. Excellent. These are great. You don't even know what it is you'll do. Okay. These are good. I need to rely on people and people don't show up consistently. Excellent. Okay. So now that you have your 5 beliefs, I want you to write your name. Just your name. So I wrote Elizabeth Pfeiffer equals. And now write the beliefs that you have. It's going to be same but different, where you have a different twist. When I say like Elizabeth Pfeiffer, this is what people think. Elizabeth Pfeiffer is, people don't show up for my programs. No one believes that you have the power they need. You don't have any creative energy. You can't channel. Spirit doesn't want to work with you. Now go into those personal beliefs that you have about yourself or that other people that you perceive have about you as to why you can't do or accomplish your goal. Does that make sense? Okay. So Elizabeth Pfeiffer equals no one trusts you. Or you're not an expert in your field, right? Those types of things. I know they seem a little similar, but they're not. They're a little different. Or maybe what it is that you think other people think of you when you try and move out into your business or the relationship or the job. Let's do 5 of those. And when you get those 5, see what the main theme is there. What is the main theme that comes up for you? So it could be not good enough, not enough, not sexy enough, not skinny enough, not smart enough. What is your theme? Dreams too big. There's no dream that is too big, but that's a great one. Dreams too big. And if you were to dig a little deeper on that dreams too big, why, what would be the reason why you dream too big and can't reach that goal? Unattainable. Okay. It's unattainable because why? Because you're not what? Too out there and not normal. Okay, that is the root. Yes, not enough. Let's find the root theme. So some of you have to dig a little deeper to get that root. Too out there and not normal. So what does that say about you, Heather? What's the theme? I don't belong, or I don't fit in. Excellent. Excellent. So again, I want you to find that, and this is for people who are watching the recording, I want you to find that place where you don't feel as if you can accomplish it because of something that you sense, something that you think that you're not blank. What are you not blank so that you can't achieve that goal? Okay. Not smart enough, like we did earlier. That's the root. We want to get to the root, right? Because we don't want to pull a tree out by the leaves. We don't want to pull a tree out by the trunk. We want to make sure if we grab the tree and we pull it, we get it from the roots, right? Otherwise, the tree grows back. Okay, any other things anybody wants to share before we move on? Yes, okay. I realized a lot of the limitations I've been working on are the things other people have been saying, and it's not what I believe. Yes! Yes! Boom! That is bingo! Bingo! You get bingo! That is amazing. That is true. We start to function from other people's limitations, and they're not even yours. Excellent. Excellent. Ooh, I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills. Okay. So there is this little story. We're going to tell a little story. You have your ego on one hand, Fred, and then it's prop time. And then we have your next level you. She's a diamond. Okay. And each one of these tells a different story. And you already know which stories they are because you can hear both of them, right? So from this point on, you have to make a decision and a little bit of a commitment as to which story you're going to listen to. Are we going to listen to Fred, or are we going to listen to you? Because they both will talk. Fred, on the other hand, talks a little louder. So we have to make a commitment at this point in time, or a decision, or a choice as to who you're going to listen to. Or in this case, which one of these are you going to feed? Because they will both show up. But which one are you going to give the energy to? Which one are you going to feed the most? Which one are you going to say, no, thank you? I don't want to believe that. That's not me. That's not true. It's not my next level you. It is a discerning choice. And Fred can be very, very loud. Very loud. Very loud. Okay. So now I want you to do something different. So now what we've done up until this point is we've listened to all the Freds in your heads. Well, that rhymes. All the Freds in your heads. Cool. Now we're going to flip the coin and we're going to do the other side of the story. Positive thoughts, sorry. So you're going to write on your paper, Elizabeth Pfeiffer. Now you're not going to write your name, not my name. You're going to write your name again. And I want you to write down this time all of the positive things that are you. So for example, Elizabeth Pfeiffer is very creative, very talented, a clear source channel, very relatable to others, extremely sexy. No, I'm just kidding. But you get the point, right? All the positive things and all the positive things that people actually maybe have even said about you. Maybe you're very generous. Maybe you're very selfless. And I want you to tear through that. I want 10 of those. I'm going to check your papers. Energetically, of course. And again, let me know in the comments some of the positive things. We wrote all the negative things. Let's see some of these positive things. Pick 2 of your favorite ones. Authentic as fuck, not afraid to be herself, and has a lot of wisdom. I love it. Perfect. Yes. And true. And absolutely true. You have 5? You have 5? Heather, you have 5? Yes?
Yeah, 10.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you to write more. Give me 2 more. Who else has got some? She is resourceful and effing talented. Yes, yes. Love it, love it, love it. She gets what she wants. She lives life with full purpose and vitality. She doesn't hold back from the things that believes and value. Doesn't hold back from the things believes in values that she believes in values. Thank you. And she has skills. Yes, excellent. Okay, perfect. So when I did this exercise, I actually had a problem with it. Okay. And I had to tune into the guides and be like, I don't get it. Okay. And the words I heard was don't feed the theme. Don't feed the theme. The other thing was, because I'm a healer, right? I want to clear it. I want to shift it. I want to fix it. I want to make it go away. Okay. Excuse me. So anytime I see a theme, I want to like poof, disappear, make it go away. And I couldn't understand why there was no healing for this piece or for this exercise. I didn't get it. So you mean I have to run around with a not a good enough theme playing in my head? And I'm going to read to you the entire channel. It's like 2 pages long of the information that I received because it blew my mind. Okay. And the first one is don't feed the theme, because the one that you feed is the one that wins. The one you feed is the one that wins. So the question about the theme that we all came up with, we all have a theme, right? It's because we all have a story, we all have an experience. But what if you just let it be? Right? I can feel like people just going, what do you mean I have to keep it? What if you just let it be? What if it was okay to have it, but not feed it? Right? We all have what I call core themes, things that actually make up our personality, things that have been ingrained in us based upon our experiences, things that we've experienced and decided that were true. But if we recall, a belief is something that you say over and over and over and over again until you make it true. So what happens if we don't feed it? What if we recognize it and let it be? What if we just shut it down and told a new story? So, of course, me and my infinite wisdom, I asked my guides, well, can't we just heal it? And their answer was, what if it was okay to have it? To be unhealed and just let it be? What if it was okay to have it, be alive in your energy, but not active? And so you might be asking the same question that I asked, and I would be like, why? Why would we want to do that? And the answer is that it's because it's a part of who you are. It's a part of what makes you you. It is a part of your experience that you've gone through in order to get to where you are here now. The idea is not to heal it, but to come to terms with it and accept that this is something we have. To allow it to be what it is and not feel as if you have to sweep all of the parts that make you you under the rug, or have to make the things that make you you go away, disappear, dissolve. For me, that was very profound, because we can spend our lives trying to heal a core wound that isn't true. But what if it was here and every now and then it pops up, but we go, no, that's not true. When we feed it the energy, it becomes bigger, it takes over. When we refuse to do that, but we recognize it and we accept it, I have this piece, it's here, it's starting to come alive, but it's not true. And we counteract it with this. Do you know what happens to Fred? He goes, yep, he goes somewhere in the corner. Are you sure I can't play? No, you can't play, Fred. Okay, I'm gonna go sit down. And then eventually, if he pops back in, you just send him back. You just send him back. And eventually, he doesn't show up anymore. He might pop in and pop out. But the more you keep feeding the piece that you want to experience, the more this becomes your reality. So, of course, my question would be, okay, I totally get that. I absolutely understand that. So, how do we make peace with Fred? Right? Because up until now, our entire existence has been trying to like beat the heck out of Fred. Go away, go away, go away, right? We try to beat him up. But how do we make peace with him? He doesn't know any better. He only knows what we fed it. He's only doing his job, the things that we've asked him to do. And the words that came through that time when I was journaling, I have it here, just FYI, if you see me looking down, is accept the fact that it's there and just let it be. And then they told me a story. Imagine yourself sitting at your desk right now, and there's an annoying bird flying into your window, like tapping the window the whole time, like, right? Just tapping on your window or crowing outside your window, like a cat. It's a bird cat bird. I don't make bird sounds very well. What would you do with it? Would you shoot it and kill it? No, probably not, right? It's annoying. You would do what? You would ignore it and go about doing your thing. Does that make sense? You would ignore it and go about doing your thing. So there are distractions that come up in our energy. There are distractions, but we have a choice as to whether or not to pay attention to it and feed it, or not pay attention to it, ignore it, and feed the other side. And the question that I pondered, that I will give to you is, who do you want to be in alignment with? Okay. So a couple of like things to kind of help with when Fred gets activated with things like you dream too big. Here's Fred. You dream too big. Your dreams are too big, Elizabeth. Well, I wonder how the universe is going to deliver my dreams. I wonder how all of the things that I want and desire are going to show up for me. I wonder how it's going to all realign and deliver itself. Oh, I just got chills. I don't know how it's coming, but I am super excited to receive it. Opening your energy to allow the universe to deliver it by asking the question of, ooh, well, I wonder how that's going to happen. It's not a deterrent. It doesn't say, no, you're never going to have it because you dream too big. It says, I'm open to receive it. I wonder how it's going to show up. How you respond to your Freds can be a closed energy or an open energy. If you agree with Fred, you're going to close it off. If you're in wonderment, excitement, receiving, interest, that's an open energy. And it allows the universe to come through and deliver to you. So the question really is can you accept all of the parts of you that maybe you don't really like, but can you accept them and love them anyway? Can it be okay for them to be there? Because we're constantly fighting against it. That is a resistant energy. It's judgment. We judge ourselves and then we resist the opposite of what we could be experiencing. So where do you need to allow yourself to accept the pieces that maybe are not your favorites? Another good statement I like to use is I'm pondering the solution to that. If I get stuck, oh, I dream too big. Well, I'm pondering the solution to that. And that opens the door for your inner being to give you the answer. I'm pondering. And if the more you ponder, you don't close off the energy, you keep it open. I ponder, I wonder, how is that going to happen? Inner being, higher self. I'm really excited to receive that. How is that going to show up? Then you allow an entryway into your energy field for at least some of it to then arrive. Okay. So in and of itself, a lot of people have control over wanting what they want, when they want it, and how it shows up, right? We hold on really tightly to the outcome of things that we want, right? We want the full, I want a full group. I want the 1,000 people to show up. I want the $10,000 months. And then we look back and we look at all of our goals and all of our things. We didn't hit our goals, then we feel bad, right? We get so attached to things having to show up in a specific way at a specific time through a specific avenue that blocks off all of your energy and doesn't allow you to receive. And some of those pieces are I'm not enough, or I dream too big, part of those Fred things, right? Or sometimes we get attached to things like I need money. My bills are due. I need $100,000. I have a lot of bills. No, I'm just kidding. So we ask the universe, I need this money. I need it. That's a totally closed off energy. That's not an allowing energy. It's a pushing energy. So what I like to do, okay, so first, before we move on to that, let me know in the comments, how many of you have like that kind of relationship with money where you need it, you want it, when is it going to show up? Why aren't you here? Where are the clients? Where's the boyfriend? Where's the weight loss? Where's the this, that, the other thing? What are you holding on tightly to right now that if you could let go, it would free up so much energy that would allow things to actually happen for you instead of you trying to control it? What would that be? How am I going to get there? So we're holding on to the how. You're trying to control the how, right? And I always say this to people, how is not your job. You can ask the universe how, but it's not your job to figure out. It's actually the universe's job to figure out the how. Your only job is to open and receive the guidance and the steps and the synchronicity of how to get there. But I'm going to give you, for this exercise, I want you to identify the how, whatever it is. Where are you going to go? Where you have your hands around the what. What is that what? I'm trying to be a good student, do all the right things. Okay, well then you're gonna have to let go of the control. It's one thing to do all the right things. It's another thing to control it all at the same time, right? From one control freak to maybe another. When or where is my money, my recognition, my people, my romantic partner? How am I going to get there and find them? Excellent. Okay. I'm going to give you a very simple exercise that's going to profoundly help you release the control. Because that's one of my big things. When we are in control, let me rephrase that. When we think we're in control, okay, we're actually not allowing spirit, your inner being, source creator, to do their work. You're trying to do your work and their work at the same time. And I can promise you, they're really a lot better at doing their work than we are. Promise. So for this example, I'm going to invite everybody to this is going to be a very short one. See, it didn't make the hour. We're going to run over. Okay. For this moment, I'm just going to invite you to close your eyes. And I want you to envision the thing that you're wanting, desiring, or the thing that you have your hands around, that you're holding on to so tightly. And I want you to imagine that in front of you, you can see it like 20 feet in front of you. And it has a rope wrapped around it. And that rope is really tight against it. And ironically, that rope tightens around the thing that you want and desire, and it comes all the way back into your right hand. You are in control of the rope. Take a moment here and notice how tightly is your grip, or how tight is your grip around the rope. Are you white knuckling it? Are you pulling it and making it tighter? What color is it? What kind of rope is it? You're holding on so tightly that there's no room or space here for the universe to come in and actually deliver it to you. Or for actually, I use the universe, but in truth, it's your inner being. There's no way that you and your inner being can create anything here because there's no space. So on the count of 3, I'm going to invite you to loosen the grip on the rope in your right hand and then drop it. 1, 2, 3. Release the rope and let it go. Watch how everything expands, becomes lighter, and moves around you with flow and ease. Now imagine your dream up there. And imagine, since the rope is gone, you're just standing in this position 20 feet away and allowing your inner being to arrange it for you so perfectly that with each breath that you take, it becomes closer. The scene that was 20 feet away is now closer. Inhale in, closer. Exhale out. Inhale in, it comes even closer. Imagine yourself walking this path beneath your feet, this golden path of light that sprawls out beneath your feet towards the thing that you want and desire, and walk towards it gently, gracefully, easily, effortlessly, until you are actually inside the bubble of light that you were holding tightly with. See yourself here in your desire, doing the work, creating, connecting, meeting the people, having the phone conversations, whatever it is. See yourself in it, doing it, feeling it. No ropes attached. Expand that feeling even more. See it even brightly, more brightly. See it more clearly. Feel the flow, feel the joy, feel the alignment. And you can stay in here for a few more seconds, and then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Yeah, take a moment to write things down, take notes, take any aha moments. And feel free to unmute your mic or type in the chat box any questions, thoughts, ideas, anything. Okay, so Liz, go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off there for a minute.
That's okay. So when we were doing that exercise, I wasn't sure what I was gonna see, but I just saw like a lot of people, and they were a lot of people there.
Uh-huh.
Like, and it was in front of me, but then it went around me, and then I started feeling really anxious, and I was like trying to bring them in. And then you said the thing about the rope, um, and you and I was like not only holding onto it tightly, but I was with both hands.
Yo, okay.
Um, and then just listening to you and having to let that go, I started to feel very anxious. Like
Uh-huh.
just my heart started beating fast. Um, and then there was this moment where it felt like it went, like the people went right past me. And then I was like, wait, did I miss my opportunity? And then I started seeing my brain kind of going into this ruminating thing of once again trying to figure out what was I being shown and the how and the why. And I think at the end, like I just realized like I need to let go of the how. Like all my struggles over the last year, like I know I have the talent, right? I have the skills, I have the resources, and I just kind of need to wait for this unfolding.
Mm,
Like it's there, I know it's there, and I can feel it, and I think that that's why I've been trying to hold on to it and figure out the how, because I can feel that it exists, if that makes sense.
yeah, exactly. So the one thing I heard was, what if all the people that went past you were people that you were holding on to that were not meant, oh, big chills, not meant for you to serve,
Mm.
right? We hold on to this container of people, but what if you just threw everybody in there and was holding on to everyone? And then when you let go, the ones who weren't supposed to be there left. And when they leave, they create space and room for those who were meant to be in that space to come in. Because there was no room in that space for new people to come in. You had them all filled up with people who weren't supposed to be there.
Yep, that makes sense.
Uh-huh. So you created the space for new people to show up. And that's part of the how, right? So how do we do it? Well, we gather all these people. But your inner being just sits there and she's just like, yeah. Yeah, we got about like 100 here that don't even belong, right? So, but we feel this is a great example of we think we can do it better. But the other essence of you, your inner being, has it already planned out. All you had to do was drop the rope and let her do her job.
Yep, no, I agree. When you said drop the rope, that was the first thing that I got was like, and that was that sadness, or it was like just needing to let go of the how. And the sadness came from like all the self sabotage I realized I've kind of been doing. So,
Yeah, and it's trust. There's a piece of you that, and this may be for everybody, there's a piece of you that says, if I drop the rope, can I trust that my inner being will pick it up? Can I trust that it will happen the way that I would love it to happen? Right? But when you deal with mysticism in that way, the answer is going to be no, absolutely not. Because you held it here, but your inner being had us a bigger plan, which is bigger and better than what you can even imagine in this time space continuum. What if it comes in easier now? What if it comes in effortlessly? What if it just shows up and you don't have to do anything? How cool is that? And all you had to do was drop the rope to make the space. So your job then from this point, this is really good. I would journal. There's a place in your workbook for notes. I would journal about that whole experience, and really kind of get tune into your inner being and kind of have that conversation, that very same conversation I had with my inner being when I did the first piece about which one are you going to feed? Like, why can't I heal it? Why can't I just make it go away? Right? Talk to your inner being about that entire exercise and see what else you get from her. So I'm also hearing, imagine that your higher selves has a plan for you. My planning book. She has a plan. It's a golden plan. Well, it's rose gold, right? It's perfect. It's everything you've ever wanted. And you just go, nope, I think I could do it better. And your higher self's like, okay. That's exactly what you do with the rope. And it's not until you drop it that you'll be able to create that space that you need in order to actually have things come in for you. That goes for everybody. We hold on too tight, or we get attached to an outcome, or we say it has to come in this way, I won't accept it any other way. Then you shut off the avenue for ways for it to show up for you. Okay. Anybody else?
With mine, the rope was very clearly thick and red.
Ooh.
And I was pulling it really hard, like tug of war, pulling it. And then I just like dismissed it and dropped it, like, forget it. Like, it wasn't the way you told us to let it go.
Okay.
Like, very gracefully with intention. It was very much like I see it, like, if I don't have control, it's not working, then why bother? Like, I give up.
Do you give up or do you surrender?
I give up.
So you gave up.
Yeah.
Which means I give up. It's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
I can't make it happen.
Yeah. So when you told us to drop it, I had to pick it back up again. And even when I gave up and threw it, it was still really tight.
Uh-huh.
Held around everything. And when we went through the exercise and I gently let it go and did that, what it was surrounded, like it was all tied up, almost like when someone makes like when you make food almost and you like bind something up inside leaves.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And they all started to kind of slowly open up almost like a blossom, and that's how it expanded out.
Cool.
Yeah, so it was just very visual for me.
That's amazing.
But very clear, like what was going on. Like what was in it wasn't as clear, but that's fine. But it was more just because I know that I tend to do that. I tend to really hold on tight and try to force it and try to control it and try to do it my way. And then I'm just kind of like, fuck it. And I just, give up altogether.
Yeah, but when you picked it up again,
Mm-hmm.
you released it gently, you kind of subconsciously got like the surrender piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for you, it's trust. It's trust. It's like you don't have to hold that tightly to what you want and then give it up, right? Because you never really had control of it in the first place. That's why it wasn't working. So when you gently release and surrender, and you can send it upstairs, or you can say, I'm giving this to you, inner being, higher self. I'm handing it over. I'm turning it over to you. I'm releasing the control. I'm giving it to you. That is the surrender piece. That is the trust piece. That is saying, you know better. Help me see my way through this. I'm giving you the task. I'm letting go. Thank you. I'm letting go. This is how we let go. Excellent. Thank you for sharing that. That was awesome. Okay, anybody else? Nobody else. Okay. So we have homework. And the homework pages, sorry about this, Joe, it is another 16 pages. But I like to think that you're getting a lot out of the 16 pages. So it's about flow and self-acceptance, and you're going to go through at least like the first 4 pages is just is a little bit new, different questions to prompt you. Page 5 is the goal, that who are you going to feed, setting your goals and which one are you going to feed exercise that we actually did here. So you can do it again with anything. And then there is a self-acceptance letter. So I have this sense that there's, still some unresolved issues with the pieces of accepting who you really are, what that piece is, not who you really are, but what those other pieces are, and being an acceptance of them and letting them be there. So we invite you to write a letter to those pieces that maybe you're now willing to accept and understand, or allow to just let them be. And that's going to start you on page, it looks like 10, to recognize that you're here, that it's here, it's present and with who you are, but you're no longer willing to feed it into your misalignments. And you're going to write that letter to it. So, dear, I'm not enough. I recognize you're here and present, but I'm no longer willing to feed into your misalignments because the truth is, and then write your truth. Okay. And then it doesn't say it here, but what you can also do is a reverse letter and have your not good enough aspect of you write you back. That will make you cry, but you can do that. It's not in the workbook though, but I'm letting you, there's some extra space here at the end to allow you to do that. The rope exercise is in there as well, to do with anything that you feel like you're still holding on to. And then there's some, I left like 2 journal notes. So in the end, in the event that you want to, not switch over to a journal and just continue in your workbook. Other than that, it's going to be a lot of work for the week. So don't skimp on it because it's big. You'll have like huge aha moments. Other than that, we'll see you next week, and we will close out today's module and see you in module 5.